Your child melts down at birthday parties while other kids are having fun. Tags on clothing send them into a spiral. The sound of the vacuum cleaner might as well be a fire alarm. And every single day, you're exhausted from walking on eggshells, trying to prevent the next sensory explosion. You've been told it's just a phase. You've been told they'll grow out of it. And some days you wonder if you're doing something wrong, if you're being too accommodating, or if other parents think you're making excuses for bad behavior. But here's what nobody's telling you. Your child's nervous system is experiencing the world completely differently than other kids. It's not behavioral, and it's not a parenting problem, and it's definitely not something they're doing on purpose. Today, we're explaining and going to explain exactly what's happening inside your child's body when they experience sensory overload, why traditional approaches often plateau, and most importantly, how to finally help your child's nervous system find balance. This video is for parents who are tired of being told their child will grow out of sensory challenges. They're exhausted from managing daily meltdowns and are ready to understand the real neurological roots behind their child's sensory struggles. In the next few minutes, you'll discover why sensory processing challenges are actually nervous system challenges, how something called the perfect storm sets kids up for sensory struggles, and why addressing the neurological foundation changes everything, just like it did for a little girl named Aria. So let me tell you about Aria. According to her parents, she was often an extremely unhappy little girl. She refused to be in unfamiliar places with unfamiliar people. When her family tried to go out, which they'd occasionally attempt, it would end in Aria completely melting down from sensory overload. Every outing was a gamble, and every new environment was a threat. And this isn't rare. Today, 1 in 6 children experiences sensory processing issues. That's millions of families dealing with daily sensory struggles, being told to wait and see while their children still struggle. But Arya's story didn't end there. After starting neurologically focused chiropractic care, her parents witnessed something incredible. She went from screaming when anyone greeted her to smiling ear to ear, happily greeting everyone she met. Her sleep improved. Her speech blossomed. The child who was trapped in sensory overwhelm finally found that freedom. So, how does that happen? Why did that switch flip? Let's first begin by understanding how sensory processing disorder is a nervous system problem, not a behavior problem. Think of your child's nervous system as air traffic control, trying to coordinate thousands of flights all at once. In kids with sensory challenges, that air traffic control is completely overwhelmed. When the nervous system can't properly filter and process sensory input, everyday life feels like being dropped into a chaotic carnival. Glaring lights, screaming sounds, overwhelming smells, everything spinning out of control. And this affects all 7 senses: the sounds, the sights, the smells, the taste and texture, touch, their vestibular or balance abilities, and most importantly, that seventh sense, proprioception, which is knowing where your body is in space. Out of all the senses, proprioception is critical for brain development and function, yet it's the one nobody talks about. The brain needs 3 things to survive: grow, and to develop. It needs a proper amount of oxygen, a proper amount of energy, and a proper amount of stimulation. And that stimulation comes primarily from proprioception. Proprioception is what helps the nervous system feel safe, feel stable. It's calming to the brain to know where the body is in space and in its relationship to its environment around itself. So there's 3 types of sensory challenges that can tell us what's happening on the inside that I want to cover right now. We can have hypersensitive kids who have an overactive response to normal input. They're the ones covering their ears, ripping off tags, melting down in crowded spaces because their nervous system is stuck in overdrive. For example, if you were to pause this video right now and observe the sensations wherever you are right now, the hum of the AC unit, the cars driving by, music in the background, the feel of your own clothing, right? All of those sensations come to the forefront of a hypersensitive kid's nervous system, and create so much more noise in their bodies that lead them to being even more overwhelmed than the rest of us. And then we have the hyposensitive kids, which are the opposite. They need intense input just to feel regulated. They're constantly touching, crashing into things, seeking that sensory input their nervous system is craving. And most kids have both, which seems confusing until you understand that their nervous system is dysregulated. It's swinging between extremes, trying to find that balance. And when you see these patterns, you're not seeing difficult behavior, you're seeing a nervous system that's stuck and can't self regulate. And so that begs the question as to what's causing these sensory issues to show up. Sensory issues don't just appear randomly, they develop through what we call the perfect storm. It's a series of stressors that accumulate from pregnancy through early childhood, through the early stages of neurological development when the nervous system is most pliable, it's most moldable. They call it neuroplastic. And it starts with prenatal stress that mom takes on during the pregnancy period. That umbilical cord connected between mom and baby is the communication highway between mom's nervous system and baby's. And so when mom is experiencing a lot of stress, baby is experiencing that to some extent as well. And then there's labor and delivery with potential birth trauma or interventions that can stack on top of the stress that already has been laid, followed by early challenges like colic, constipation, or frequent antibiotics. Each stressor adds another layer of tension to the nervous system until it gets stuck in sympathetic overdrive. It's too much on the gas. It's like a smoke alarm that won't stop going off. And this then creates something called dysautonomia, where the nervous system literally cannot return to a calm, regulated baseline. And this is why they don't simply just grow out of it. They grow further and deeper into challenges like sensory processing issues because it's the same stuck nervous system underneath that is growing and developing in a less than ideal state. And that's why we'll have parents who ask the question like, well, they're in all these good different therapies and they're seeing good progress, but then for some reason it stops and it seems like they can't move forward. Why is this? And we know that OT, occupational therapy, and sensory integration therapy, they're incredibly valuable. But when the nervous system foundationally is stuck in stress mode, it's like trying to remodel a house built on a cracked foundation. You can't teach coping strategies to a nervous system that's neurologically stuck in fight or flight mode. In order to grow and develop properly, we need to be in growth and development mode. And we see many families add therapy after therapy, but without addressing the neurological root cause, progress stalls. It's like pushing a car with the parking brake still on, right? There's a little bit of movement, but it's not really going anywhere. And this is why so many parents feel frustrated when their child works so hard in therapy, but can't generalize those skills in real life. And here's what we want you to remember: your child isn't broken, they're stuck. Their nervous system is trapped in a pattern. And here's the good news that it can be shifted. When we address the neurological root cause through neurologically focused chiropractic care, we help release that tension on the nervous system. We can help to restore balance. We can help your child's brain finally process their world without constant overwhelm. You don't need more labels. You don't need to wait and see. You need answers and action. And that's what we're here. And that's why we're here to give and to partner with you to do. So click the link in our bio, comment below, send us a DM, schedule your child's neurological evaluation with Rising Health Chiropractic in Knoxville. Let our doctors and our team help your child experience the world with joy instead of that overwhelm. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.